Hi everyone, this is Kassie, and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of May 16 to May 22. So how was your week? I would love to know how it went and how the energies of the cards manifested for you. So leave me a comment below if you want and tell me what kind of energies you experienced in the previous days. If you missed last week's predictions and you want to check them out, you can always find them on the video above. If you want to have a personal session with me, you can find me on my psychic platform www.kassiekai.com, where you will get 3 free minutes with your subscription to use them in your first session, and also free minutes I give as a gift every month. Our deck for today is the Magical Forest Tarot, and if you love cute animals, you will love this deck too. But let's get on with the predictions. For Aries, we had the Chariot and now the Hermit. The Chariot shows success and effort, so you are probably pursuing something, a particular goal that you have in mind, something that you want to make yours. And the Hermit this week means that you are going to take time to explore your deeper needs and expectations and what you can really get in the current circumstances. Because this week you may have a realization that what you want is not exactly what is possible for you to get at the moment. And you may decide that at this stage you want to pursue a course of going it alone in order to be successful, especially if other people messed things up for you the last few days and you now feel that you will get better results if you take the situation in your own hands without letting other people interfere. This week you will find a solution on how to balance conflicting energies, so if your needs were not aligned with another's needs, now you will be able to find a way to make things work for both of you, but you may have to reprioritize your life and your needs in some way. If you are wondering how someone feels, they need some time alone. They are not in a place where they feel like talking or meeting. For the time being, they want to be left alone to discover how they feel. They want to work things out for themselves, and that's probably because they are currently working through other things too, as the Chariot shows, and until they work through those things, they can't clearly know what they feel about anyone else. The Hermit is often a person who's a Virgo sun or ascendant, someone who thinks deeply and thinks a lot, so if you're dealing with such a person, you should expect that they are not going to rush into action. They will probably take their time, and that can make you feel a little impatient, Aries, but you should not push them in any way, because that will make them become really stubborn and really rigid. There's a 9-day time frame for things to develop, so things that will start this week will take around 9 to 10 days to be completed. For Taurus, we had the 8 of Pentacles and now the Sun. You must have had a busy week, Taurus. The 8 of Pentacles is a card of work, of effort, and you must have made some progress last week, even if progress appeared to be slow at times. This week with the Sun, you will enjoy the results of your hard efforts, meaning you will get signs that your goals are about to manifest and that you are on the right path. You will notice that people are much more generous with you and you will attract a lot of attention. Your energy will be warm and radiant and people will feel drawn to you. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they feel that you bring much light and positivity into their life, perhaps healing too. Then they can sense that you are a positive influence for them. However, that can make them feel scared at times. Some people get scared when they feel that someone is too good for them, that they don't deserve them, and they act in ways that push another person away from them. That can happen consciously or not, depending on the maturity and the level of awareness of each person. However, if you are dealing with someone who gives a reaction of this kind, pushing and pulling all the time, maybe it's a good idea to do a solar eclipse, so to speak, and hide yourself for a while and see what kind of reaction they give then. The Sun is associated with Leo, so you may have dealings with people who are Leo Sun or Ascendant, or people who are very energetic, active, and they display the characteristics of Leo. And that means they may be too proud or too selfish at times. If you want to know how something will progress, a hidden aspect of a situation will now come to light and secrets may be revealed, so by the end of the week you will get clarity and you will know where you stand with someone or with something. Sunday seems to be a strong day this week, and the number 19 has a very special meaning with this card. That's why it's very possible that something significant will happen in about 19 days or the 19th of this month. The cycle of the sun is 1 year, so it's possible that something that started 1 year ago will now be completed, or you may start something that will be finished around May-June 2023. We had a new moon in your sign a while ago, and you can check its energy if you click on the link above. For Gemini, we had the Two of Cups, and now it's the Chariot. The Two of Cups is a card of romance and union, a very positive energy that brings two people together in a very harmonious way. The Chariot this week points to differences though, so you may find that you and another person have different needs at this stage, different expectations, yet there is a desire and intention to remain connected. That means you will be brought together by something that you have in common, something you share. Now, since the Chariot is a card of control, at times it may feel a little forced, and you may start having different and conflicting feelings about things and about the future of this connection, as at times it feels that you are going in different directions in life. The Chariot suggests that someone is trying to control their feelings, not to show them, and that can happen for various reasons. The element of control is very strong with this card, so you need to keep in mind that whatever this person is doing may be a means to control the situation, to drive it, so to speak. The Chariot is usually a person who's Cancer sun or ascendant, and Cancerians are very emotional, and for that reason they are very protective of their hearts and their feelings. That's why someone will not hesitate to become distant, detached, if they feel threatened emotionally in any way. So either someone who's refusing to open up, try not to push them, because that will produce unwanted results and they will end up resisting your efforts to approach them. You need to give them the time to trust you, or if you had a conflict, an argument, or even a breakup with them, you need to let them come to their own decisions and reach out by their own volition. Although it may not appear so, they are in a very sensitive position, which means that in an attempt to protect themselves, they can be very hurtful, so you need to take a step back and let them make their move whenever they feel ready. The end of the week holds the strongest energy now, and it's then that you may hear about someone taking a trip to see you, or you will organize a trip to visit someone, especially if you are in a long-distance relationship. For Cancer, we had the Seven of Pentacles and now the Page of Cups. The Seven of Pentacles is a very slow energy, as this is a card of patience, and often we don't see the results of our efforts, at least not as fast as we'd like them to arrive. But with the Page of Cups that shows new and fresh energy this week, and a door will open for you, an opportunity will come your way, and good news that will set the wheels in motion. So if something or someone has been slow or even stuck last week, this week energies are shifting and things start to move finally. Something will happen that will make you feel very optimistic. Remember that pages represent beginnings, so whatever happens will need time to develop. If it's love, it's immature love. If it's a professional situation, it will need time to grow into its full potential. But it's good that this week you will experience the first signs and the first results of your past efforts. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they may have a crush on you. They are definitely interested in you, but their feelings have not fully developed yet, or there might be someone who appears to be stuck in the baby steps of romance, so to speak. And although they might appear as if they are beating around the bush without making a meaningful move, at the same time expect a lot of little things that may seem meaningless to you, but they are not in their eyes at least. You will receive a very interesting and positive message that will probably have to do with love or a close personal relationship, and that could also involve an offer or an invitation that will make you feel really good. Also, it's possible you will be dealing with a young person whose energy is very intense, very emotional, and maybe they make you feel like a child again, which is good. So expect that you will have some very pleasant moments this week, probably romantic moments, or if this page represents a child for you, because pages are children in tarot, expect that you will connect with this young person in a very pleasant way. Also, you may receive news about pregnancy, or you may start planning a pregnancy. If you're waiting for something to happen, it will happen in about 10 to 11 days, while the beginning of the week seems to hold the most intense energy. For Leo, we had the King of Swords, and now it's the World. You must have dealt with a very strong male presence in your life, the King of Swords, probably an air sign or ascendant, and the strength of this person is that they will only act on their feelings if the factors that determine your relationship make sense to them. And that perhaps would be someone who does have feelings, but they stand back, waiting to see whether your connection, be it personal or professional, has potential for what they want. This week, under the energy of the World, you will notice that things come to a head and the cycle is closing or a stage is being completed. You will realize that it got as good as it could possibly get, and now you are headed to the next stage. Now, what that stage will be, it's up to you to decide, and depends on what you want to do with this person. If something appears to run in a loop so that the same things are repeated again and again, you will probably try to break this cycle. If you're feeling trapped in a situation or in a relationship that doesn't progress the way you want it to progress, that's because it has become an obsession and creative changes aren't being made. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they are experiencing many different feelings. The World card is inclusive, holistic, and very complex, so their feelings for you are complicated, intense, and it's possible that you are becoming their whole world in some way. That would be good if it doesn't mean codependency. In around 3 weeks, 21 days from now, a very significant event will happen that will mark the beginning of a new cycle of events, which in turn will be completed in around 3 weeks. The World is associated with the planet Saturn, and that's the great taskmaster, the planet that teaches us lessons. Don't forget the lessons you've learned in the last few months, and don't ignore the signs, good or bad, as that's what will give you the best guidance at this stage. If you find yourself repeating old patterns, try to break those patterns with awareness, because that will help you experience more beneficial energies around you. Or if you find that another is repeating their old patterns and they are trying to pull you into them, try to detach yourself and show them that you are not willing to participate in silly games that messed things up between you in the past. For Virgo, we had the Three of Cups and now it's the Judgment. An expectation of yours must have been fulfilled last week, and there must have been progression, expansion and growth, especially when it comes to love and personal relationships, so there might have been a very positive union or collaboration or a meeting that made you feel really good. The judgment you got this week signifies a moment of realizations of what needs to happen next, and that's often triggered by a message or a call you will receive, and that may give a new potential to a situation. However, since the judgment is one of the cards associated with the past, it appears that what happened in the past is still influencing the present of this connection, so someone may try to explain their past actions or even to apologize for something they did before. The judgment is linked to Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, so we are talking about some very deep and intense energies and feelings here, and that's why this is considered a karmic card. So events that happen this week may have a karmic flavor, as if they are meant to happen. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they do have strong feelings, but for one reason or another, they are judging themselves for having those feelings. So there is something that requires some attention and maybe some work too, because it seems like a very complicated emotional situation. And there's also a need to shed the old skin so that something new can be born. And that's especially true if you have a history with this person, a history of drama, I might add, that needs to somehow be transformed or resolved. This week you will have to make a wise judgment to decide whether something's worth salvaging or not. If you decide that it is, then you need to take action on your decision. Make that phone call, take initiative, destiny is by your side, but you need to pursue what you want. Starting this week and for the next 20 days, you will be given the chance to review a situation, to fix and heal mistakes of the past, knowing that you cannot change what happened, but you will realize that you do have power over your future. For Libra, we had the Four of Swords and now the Six of Swords. Last week must have been a little boring or too slow moving for you, or you felt that the relationship has come to a point of stagnation, but this week energy is changing and you will find yourself in a much more positive mood as you will reconnect with someone from your past, or you will visit familiar places and familiar faces. There will probably be a very important meeting or reunion that will make you feel really good. Let us not forget that the cups are our emotions, and this one is considered a karmic card, and as some say, it shows connections from past lives, so energies will be very intense. There will also be some kind of balance that's being restored. As six do show balance, especially if you had enough of drama and emotional turmoil the previous weeks. If you want to know how someone feels about you, it appears that they feel very drawn to you in a way that they cannot understand. So there might be this unexplained connection, but because there are deep subconscious drives here and things that are not fully in your conscious awareness, you may find it difficult to exist or to coexist in this connection. So perhaps one of you or both of you find this relationship very unique, but also very challenging at the same time. If there has been an argument, under this influence, energies will settle down and you will move towards a calmer phase. The Six of Cups is the card of reconciliation. If you want to know how something will progress, there will be a change of direction and a new journey is about to begin. You will find yourself moving away from a negative past towards a more encouraging future, but that's only if you allow it. The energy of the Six of Cups is letting go of things that do not work anymore in your life. The Six of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio, and that's about going very deep. It's about understanding our hidden needs, but it's also about uncovering secrets. So it's very possible that this week someone will confide in you, or something will be revealed, and you will finally understand something that you could not figure out before. The end of the week seems to hold the strongest energy, so around Saturday or Sunday you will experience the most intense vibe of the Six of Cups, while something that started between the 3rd and the 12th November may take a surprising turn this week. Also under this energy you may get news about traveling, someone may come to visit you, or you will organize a trip that will happen in around 6 weeks from now. For Scorpio, we had the Two of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. The Two of Wands is decisions, choices, so perhaps life presented you with options last week and you had to choose between two different situations or two different persons. The Queen of Pentacles this week shows that you will be dealing with the practical aspects of a situation, looking for those options that bring greater stability or more financial security. And that could have to do with business or career decisions, but it could also be about taking action to make a relationship more stable. Security and stability are the two of the greatest themes this week, and that's what you will be trying to achieve. And the actions you are going to take will definitely bring more balance this week. So you and another person who's probably an earth sign or ascendant will be able to find some common ground, and you may even come to an agreement, a deal that will be beneficial for both of you. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they are feeling secure, comfortable with you, also nurtured and comforted. That could mean that you are probably too nice or too accommodating with them, which would be okay as long as they don't take your cares and your attention for granted. Their feelings are getting stronger, more stable, although you may find that progress is slow and it takes time to pass from one stage to another. That's a characteristic of earth signs that usually want to be certain that they are making the right choice before they take the next steps in something. If you are wondering how something will progress, developments and progress will slow down a bit, so don't expect the breakthroughs this week or a big change or any bold moves from someone, but you can expect progress that will make you feel safe and balanced. Someone will be very generous with you this week, and with generous I don't necessarily mean that they will give you money, although that could be the possibility too, but someone will be generous with their emotions or their time, and if things have been somehow limited before, this week you will experience more abundance in your life in many ways. Also, we have a very powerful full moon in your sign, and you can check how to tune into its energy by clicking the video above. For Sagittarius, we had the Ace of Wands and now the Eight of Cups. Last week you probably took action to get something done. The Ace of Wands is a desire to do something we'll feel passionate about, and it's also an opportunity, a new beginning, messages. So perhaps you felt excited last week about something you want to do, or an opportunity that arose and opened the door for you, but perhaps this week you will change your mind, because the Eight of Cups is about giving up on an idea or a situation. That could be for many reasons. Perhaps you regret your decision, or there are obstacles in the way that make it hard to bring your plan into reality. But most likely there will be another calling, another option that will feel much more appealing and promising than the previous one. The Eight of Cups is Saturn in Pisces, and with that placement, Saturn, who's the great taskmaster, will give you a lesson in discernment about who to allow into your life and who to block. And that means in the past, someone must have taken advantage of your kindness, but now you know better. So this week you will be asked in some way to show that you've learned that lesson, and if you prove that you've done your homework, Saturn will reward you. But if you don't, you may have to repeat that lesson one way or another. If you want to know how someone feels, there is some dissatisfaction with the current situation and they feel the need for change. Eights are cards of change and they foretell that things will happen in a way that allows us to make those changes and head towards a more positive phase. So this person is weighing the situation, trying to figure out if there can be common ground and if your needs are aligned or not. And while they are in that process, you may notice some ups and downs as stability and clarity is not there yet. The end of the week holds the greatest energy now, so Saturday, Sunday seem to be the strongest days energetically, while you may decide to give up something that started between 19 and 28 February, as there will probably be something better that will catch your eye. For Capricorn, we had the Tower and now the Hierophant. The Tower is a disruptive card. It brings a sudden realization or a sudden event that will disrupt a situation, and in most cases that's a much needed disruption, a much needed change that we usually fail to make by our own, and life will intervene and change the dynamics in a very drastic way. The Hierophant this week is a grounding, a structured energy. It's a strong earth card that means if there has been a challenge last week, now energies will settle down and order will be restored. The Hierophant is a person in your life, an earth sign or ascendant, who will play a very significant role in restoring that balance. The Hierophant is usually an older male, a father figure, someone in a position of authority, someone who will help you and act as a catalyst one way or another. If you want to know how someone feels about you, Their feelings are strong and in some way traditional. They seem to have serious intentions. They want your relationship to be long-lasting and committed. Now, for some of you, the Hierophant indicates that you are involved with someone who is committed to another. If that's the case, with the Tower you got last week, I suggest a lot of caution, because there might be something that you don't expect that will cause emotional turmoil, so make sure that you don't make risky moves and that you protect yourself and your emotional security. Also, something that may surprise you this week is that you may get an apology or a confession, as that's a very common manifestation of the Hierophant, and that apology or confession may come from someone that owed you an apology for a while now. You are going through a very significant phase now. The time between 20 April and 20 May seems to be very important, because something you have worked for will materialize. The Hierophant can be a contract, an agreement, or a very important ceremony you will have to attend. Friday seems to be the strongest day this week, and it's then that you may receive some news about something that's getting official, or a document you've been expecting to be issued, or even news that have to do with higher education. For Aquarius, we had the Death and now the Star. The Death is a card of endings, disruption, but also a card of change, transformation, and that can be very scary at times, because it's usually a change that we have not chosen. In most cases, it's imposed on us one way or another. So whatever happened last week, maybe it was disturbing or uncomfortable, but now you start seeing the light again. You start seeing a brighter future, because the Star is a guiding energy. You will get signs, someone will show you the way. Guidance can come from another person, or it could be a divine message, a message that comes to you through intuition, through dreams. The Star also points to relationships that are from distance, long-distance relationships, or it means that you are temporarily separated from your partner for reasons that are beyond your control. It doesn't show a breakup necessarily, but it can show a pause and distance. But under this energy, you will start planning your future again. You will start planning your steps again. The Star is a card of future, so your attention and your focus is on your future, and you will no longer look back. The Star is the card of your sign, and it's a very familiar energy to you. That's why you will feel at home this week. You will feel very calm, very comfortable. If you want to know how someone feels about you, they want to be with you, they like you, but distance seems to be an issue here. It could be physical distance, like I said, or distance forced by circumstances. However, there's also hope and potential, which gives the promise of improvement. The Star is one of the karmic cards in tarot, and that means events that will happen this week may have a fated undertone, and you may feel that you have no choice but to be in a certain situation or to be with a certain person. Keep in mind though that although there are things that are fated and cannot be avoided or blocked, on the other hand, we have free will, which gives us the power to try and change circumstances that keep us trapped. So whatever happens, remember that nothing is ever a dead end and there are always other choices. For Pisces, we had the Eight of Swords and now the Knight of Cups. Energies are changing for you, Pisces. The Eight of Swords is obstacles, limitations, so perhaps someone made your life difficult last week, or you found yourself in a situation that was very limiting, very restrictive, and you felt unable to act. But now the Knight of Cups opens new possibilities, especially in love and relationships, and things that have been blocked are now getting unblocked. So maybe you couldn't communicate with someone for one reason or another, now communication channels seem to be opening again. Or you could not share your feelings, but now it's easier for you to talk about your feelings, about your needs, about your expectations. The Knight of Cups is a romance card, and it shows that someone, probably someone who's a water sign or ascendant, has romantic and sexual feelings for you. They are fantasizing about you, and since the Knights are always moving and always on a quest, you should expect that someone will get more active this week and will make some moves that previously were blocked. Also, you may receive a very positive message this week, and you may also decide to organize a trip with your loved one. The best course of action at this stage is to feel your way about the situation. Don't try to explain it with logic, because you won't be convinced. There's strong emotional energy here, and emotions and logic are two different realms. The Knight of Cups at times broods over things, and that's why your moods may be affected a little, and there might be some mood swings, especially, for example, something happens and you may magnify it on your mind, and that will affect your feelings too. The Knight of Cups brings fantasies, daydreaming. You may find yourself in a very dreamy mood this week. The Knight of Cups is a helper, so don't be surprised if you, when you least expect it, get some help, or perhaps you will help someone. The Knight of Cups is one of the slower knights, so things will not develop too fast, but you need to give something 2-3 weeks in order to fully grow or to show its real potential. So these were the tarot horoscopes for the week of May 16 to May 22. I hope you enjoyed them, and I will see you next week. Have a nice and productive week.